All right, got Josh here with us from Josh Stein Design. For everybody in the fitness world, obviously, you're always looking to get out there, get a good website, get on the internet, and Josh is the guy to help you. So hey, Josh, I'll let you go ahead and introduce yourself, kind of tell a little bit what you're doing. And how are you, by the way?
I'm doing well, yeah. So I am a fitness website designer. So I help health, wellness, and fitness companies improve their online presence and convert more of their website visitors into paying customers. So I'm a web designer at heart, but I have a huge passion for fitness. So I kind of found an intersection between the two.
That's awesome. Yeah, I was going to ask you, how did you get started with what you're doing? I mean, what led you to want to do this, and especially in the fitness world?
Yeah, sure. So I started off as a designer probably like around a little bit less than 2 years ago. I started off just as a graphic designer. I was kind of doing, just logos and flyers and brochures, things like that on a platform called Upwork. I'm sure you've heard of it. And then after a while, I kind of just wanted to start doing something more that felt more impactful to me. So I started learning web design really deeply and something called user experience design. Started learning that really in depth. And then, yeah, I mean, I've been passionate about fitness my entire life. I'm a basketball player. I love to run. I love to lift weights. And so I thought that it was a perfect opportunity really to find a connection between the two, because I saw that there was kind of a gap in the fitness industry where sometimes online presence isn't really at the forefront of people's minds. So I thought that it was a great opportunity to help people out and really provide value.
Nice. Yeah, no, I see that a lot, in my world as well. I see a lot of websites, I work in the fitness world as well. And you really have a lot of just outdated websites, just some really, pardon my language, but shitty websites out there. Why do you think people still aren't taking the time to invest in websites? And, this is 2000, this is 2020, it's why are people not investing in websites still?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I think that a lot of people get caught up in the visual side of it. So I think that a lot of people see a website as just a way, it's kind of like an afterthought. So it's like, oh, I have a business, maybe I should throw a website up on the internet. And a lot of people kind of just see it as something that looks nice on the internet. It doesn't really help. But the way that I see a website, especially today when a lot of people are going to go to Google first when they want to find somebody for something. So when in an age like this where everybody is finding the person that they need to on Google, your online presence has to be there. Your website has to serve a purpose within your sales process. And I think that it's just overlooked just because we're kind of still in that transition point, where businesses kind of have to look at things a little bit differently. And I think that it's definitely going to make a huge impact on a lot of businesses, especially the fitness industry. With everything that's going on in the world right now, things are kind of moving online. Your website has to be, tip top. It has to be perfect to really convert people and to show why you're better than anybody else.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome. So walk me through the process. Let's say I'm a customer. I found you online, I'm assuming, or however, you find your business.
Mm-hmm.
How are you going to help me? Like, walk me through the whole process. Are you going to, you're creating my website. Do you do the design? Do the logo? I mean, I'll kind of let you kind of take over. Just pretend I'm a clueless customer. I just want to have a website. How are you going to help me?
Yeah, for sure. So it really depends on everybody's situation, but normally it just kind of starts off by really just getting a better understanding of your business, how things are doing for you, what your current online presence looks like. So I know with a lot of fitness companies, a lot of people just kind of do their social media, like they have the Facebook page, maybe a LinkedIn page. They do some things on Instagram, but I'll take a really good look at kind of what you're doing already and what your marketing efforts look like at the moment. And then beyond that, if you have a website, I like to start off by doing just like a really in-depth audit of it. So I kind of look at all the different pages, how you're portraying yourself on the internet. And then after I do a more in-depth audit, I kind of find some people that are just like you out on the internet that are doing it really well. And I try to find things that they're doing that we can implement into your business. And of course, it's not copying, it's just finding inspiration. And yeah, so that's how I would start off a project. And then beyond that, it's really just building out a website that my goal when I'm designing websites is to make the website as tailored to your specific customer as I possibly can, right? So everybody's business is different and everyone has a different type of customer. So when I'm designing a website, I want to make sure that it really addresses your customer specific problem. And then once we get that addressed, show how you're the perfect solution for that problem. And it's super important especially for the fitness industry, to do that, because there's a lot of options. The competition is there. So to make sure that your website really shows why you're the best choice, it's super important. And then beyond that, it's really just a matter of, building the website, getting it online, and then kind of measuring your performance where you were before, and making sure that there was some kind of increase in conversion with the people that land on your website.
Okay, cool. And so what's your relationship like? If I come to you as a customer, is it kind of a one-time thing and you're done, you build my website, then I never see you again? Or do you kind of have, I mean, is it a monthly recurring? Do you come and see me every month to make sure that I'm growing and, changing? I mean, I know obviously a little bit on the SEO and things like that things are always changing. So
Right.
what's your relationship like with your average customer?
Yeah, so during the actual process, I'm not the kind of freelancer that kind of hides in the dark and does work and then says, "Oh, here's your new website. You can do what you want with it." I like to really be involved. I think that it's a team process. So yes, I'm the designer, but when I'm working with somebody, I want them to give their input. If they don't like something, I want them to tell me, right? So I think that communication is probably the number one most important factor with any kind of service work like this. So when I'm working with a client during the actual process, it's really, I like to write up reports. Either I write them up in like a Word document, or I'll record a video and I'll kind of just go through what I did, and I'll explain to you why I chose to do things the way I did, so that you don't feel any kind of doubt in your mind that, I'm kind of just guessing and throwing things into a template or whatever. And then beyond that, after the website has been created, I like to offer maintenance. So that just means kind of like making sure that the website is updated, it's running properly, making sure that the website is secure, so that if there's any kind of user input of information, that information can't just, be plucked right out of your website. And then, just making sure the backups are being run. And then, of course, like you said, things are always changing, but I usually view web design as a solution to a business problem. So unless there's another problem that you have that you need solved with a website, then I think that it's perfectly fine. There's some kind of there's like preconceived notions that you're supposed to get your website redesigned every 3 to 6 months, things like that. I personally don't see it that way. I think that you should get your website redesigned as often as you need to make you more money, basically. That's the way that I see it. So I like to keep in touch after I'm done, just to make sure that everything's running smoothly. But unless my customers need something else, then I'm not really one to just, do things because I feel like I need to.
Okay, no, that's awesome. And by the way, I'm making a little note. I like the kind of, a lot of times with my customers or clients, I send them a bullet point of my work. I kind of like the video. That's a smart idea. I'm gonna steal that from you if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
That's actually something that somebody that I'm friends with, he sent me a video going over something, and I was like, wow, this is the best way to communicate. Like I can just sit back and watch and enjoy the information, and it's not as boring as a document. So it works really well.
oh yeah, they say it all the time. In email mark, anything you do, people just more responsive to videos, and nobody likes to read anymore for whatever
Yeah.
reason. So
Oh, yeah. I mean, as a web designer, I know that for sure. A lot of people, just skim on the internet. So like, even if you write a 3,000 word article, people are going to, jump to the parts that are relevant to them, and it makes sense.
yeah.
So, yeah, as a designer, I need to keep that in mind when I'm making websites, make sure that things are easily digestible and you can kind of hop around where you need to be.
Yeah, and I personally think I know my answer, but I still want to ask you this. When you come to objections, I know people who don't know websites can't build their own. Obviously, they're coming to you to do it for you. How do you handle objection? They see, the commercials for Wix and all these other programs online, or I'm sorry, on TV.
Mm-hmm.
How do you handle objection? Why should they come to you instead of just doing it by themselves with Wix?
Yeah, that is a really good question, and that's something that comes up pretty often. So I think that programs like that, like Wix and the Weebly, I'm not even sure if that's still one, but your Squarespace, things like that. I think that those are really great solutions if you're just starting off a business and you don't have a lot of money to invest. Because I'm a personal believer that every business should have a website. You should have some kind of online presence. So if you can't afford to kind of hire somebody out to do it, then I think it's a great solution at the beginning. But with that being said, once you have some money to invest, it's really important that your website kind of funnels your customers in a certain way. So it's one thing to just get a website up on the internet that's kind of just like a brochure. So, you land on the website and it has all of your information on there. That's one kind of website. But then there's another kind of website that actually converts your customers. And that really comes down to the user experience side of things. And that's what I love. So I love, I'm a user experience designer at heart, like I said before. And that really just, it's how can we get your customers from point A to point B in the easiest possible way? And that just means point A being when they land on the website, and point B to actually getting in contact with you, making a purchase, whatever that is for you. So yeah, it's when you're paying for a web designer, a good web designer at that, that's what the focus really is on. So you're paying for the potential business that you're going to get down the road, rather than just kind of throwing a website up there. And also, it does take a learning curve. Those platforms are very easy to use for sure. But it's going to take a time investment, and you're really going to have to, plan out what you want people to see on your website. Because once it's on the internet, it's there for good. So
Yeah, no, 100%. That's a great answer. Yeah, when I first started, I had that problem too. I wasn't valuing myself enough, and I've learned over time, just certain people, they'd come to me, or I'd reach out to them, and I found they just couldn't afford me. And I'd nicely kind of suggest other places they can go. And I think it's hard when you first start out, because you want to kind of sell everybody and help everybody, but it's just not
right.
realistic and maybe not their route. So like we said, with the constant changing things, out there, how do you stay ahead of the game? Like, what do you do? I mean, what's your resources? How do you constantly keeping up with knowledge and educating yourself, so you can kind of, I assume obviously you want to stay at the top of what you do.
Absolutely.
What's one of your tips for especially somebody maybe starting out? What's some of your tips to stay educated?
Yeah, for sure. So there's this great YouTuber that I watch, and he's all about web design. He's called Fox Web School. So maybe not so applicable for the people in the fitness industry, but he taught something that really made a huge impact on my day to day, what I'm doing every single day. So he said that based on how, it really matters how much work I'm doing at the time, but you should really dedicate, a half of your time. You just have to pick a number to learning. So every single day I'm reading new books, I'm watching YouTube videos, I'm reading articles, anything that, if I think I'm weak in one part of my skill, I'm going to go and try to get better at it. And YouTube really has made a huge difference for me. I mean, the vast amount of knowledge that's out there, it's incredible. But like, here's an example. I have this book called The Art of Selling Memberships, which I think it might be backwards on the screen, but
it looks, at least on my end, it looks good. So we'll see after editing.
Yeah, for sure. But so like something like that, I just purchased that book recently, and I'm hoping that it'll, teach me some different things and that I can incorporate into my website. So if I'm ever working with gym owners that are looking to sign on more memberships, it's just really a matter of committing to yourself, and, you are your number one client. So committing a certain amount of hours every single week, every single month, just to improve yourself and get better. And I try to do that with the design aspect of things, and of course with helping people better.
No, that's awesome. That's great. I try to pick up those daily habits too, of like, reading something, finding 10 minutes by myself. I think it was Tony Robbins talking about finding 10 minutes of gratitude every day. Just kind of get you charged no matter what your mood is. What would you say for like a unique daily habit you have? What's something you do, you say every day that's maybe unique to everybody else?
Yeah, I struggle with this one. I wasn't exactly sure, because I feel like I don't really have any unique habits, just consistent habits. But the one that I wrote down is that I make my bed every single day. I like to wake up and kind of start on the right foot. And I'm sure you've seen the books and everything, like Make Your Bed.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I've read those. I wish I had that habit, but I'm married now, so she takes care of it. But
right.
when I was single, I was never able to get that habit.
Yeah, no, it doesn't feel like a lot at the time, but if you can, I wake up and I do one hard thing at the beginning of every single day, and it really gets me off on the right foot to be productive every single day.
That's great. Anything else to add? Anything maybe I forgot to ask you? Anything you really want to say about your business? Something you want to get out there?
I think we pretty much covered all of it. I've found a way to really incorporate what I'm passionate about, which is helping other fitness people. And I'm making a difference by improving online presence. And, it's been really fun, talking to people and learning about people in this industry, and especially in a hard time like this, where things are kind of in the transition phase and we don't know what post-pandemic is going to look like right now. It's really interesting to learn about people and figure out what they're doing to kind of boost up their business in an uncertain time like that. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to what the future holds, and yeah, it's been fun.
All right, no, I'm excited, man. So if somebody wants to get a hold of you, I mean, we'll obviously put your website in the links, but phone number, website, how do you want people to get a hold of you?
Yeah, I think the best way to get a hold of me at this point in time is LinkedIn. So my LinkedIn profile is Josh Steinberg. That's spelled Steinberg. Send me a connect invite. I'm always accepting any connect invites, and shoot me a message, and I'd love to talk, learn a little bit about your business at the very least, and maybe hop on a call.
All right, awesome. Hey, Josh, I really appreciate it. I thank you for your time, and best of luck out there. We'll stay in touch, all right?
All right. Thank you so much, Lee.
All right, thanks, man.